Pre-Islamic practices that Islam abolished. Number 1. Female infanticide. Many Arab tribes, out of fear of poverty or social dishonor, chose to bury their newborn daughters alive. They attributed daughters to Allah and took sons for themselves. When the Quran was revealed, this practice was abolished. Number 2. Alcohol. It was essential to the Arabs. They used to drink it for everything. Weddings, festivals, it was all over their poetry. It led to financial ruin, domestic violence, and destroyed their intellect. When the Quran was revealed, Allah abolished this practice in 3 stages. Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 219. Allah acknowledges the benefits, but reminds that the loss is greater than the benefit. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 43. Now alcohol comes between prayer, and you cannot pray while intoxicated. And finally, it was revealed in Surah Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse 90, that alcohol was prohibited. Number 3. Gambling. The pre-Islamic Arabs would gather around, sacrifice a camel, and then throw arrows into it. 7 of the arrows won meat shares, and 4 won nothing. The losers had to pay for the entire camel, and the winners gave all the meat to the poor. This was called maisir. Because this relied on pure chance, it caused major financial ruin and led to various tribal wars. When the Quran was revealed, this practice was abolished. Number 4. Zina. A husband would send his wife to sleep with a noble man, and the husband would abstain from her while she was pregnant. This practice was abolished. Number 5. Riba. If a merchant, for example, lent someone money and it had to be paid back within 1 year, and the borrower missed the deadline, compounding interest, or riba al-jahliya, was applied, where the money would drastically increase. So for example, if they had to pay 100 dinars, they would now have to pay 200. This led to severe poverty, forcing the borrower to surrender their land, children, and eventually themselves into physical slavery. When the Quran was revealed, this practice was abolished. Number 6. Legal adoption. To secure a male heir or to forge political alliances, a man would take a boy, often a war captive, or someone from a weaker tribe, to the Kaaba, and he would declare him his son. And instantly, the child's biological parents were legally erased. When the Quran was revealed, this practice was abolished. Number 7. Inheriting women and property. When a man died, his son, or another man, would throw their thobe over her, and they could either marry her or sell her for money. And women lost all their autonomy, and they could not own any property. When the Quran was revealed, this practice was abolished. Now the men had to pay dowry, women can own their own property, and all their money was theirs, and the man must spend his money on the family. Tha'ur, or tribal blood feuds. Pre-Islamic Arabia lacked a centralized government or police force, so if someone from another tribe killed your cousin, you did not just go after the killer, you would slaughter everybody, or the most noble men. This lasted for decades and wiped out entire generations. When the Quran was revealed, this practice was abolished. Qisas, or equal retaliation, was applied, where only the killer was able to be punished. And finally, shirk. The pre-Islamic Arabs would worship idols and claim that they are worshipping them only to get closer to Allah. Pilgrims would sacrifice animals and eat their meat, and corrupt elites could exploit them to make money. And of course, they worship something that can neither benefit nor harm them. When the Quran was revealed, shirk was abolished. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.